Ms. Coaston?
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to nominate Mrs. Corcus to serve as the chair of the Hooksett School Board.
I'll second.
Is this replacing for this evening? Is this a formal requirement where it's not here today?
No, this is to serve from now on as the chair of the Hooksett School Board.
I'd like to call the motion to a vote. Could we have a roll, please? Mike?
Yes.
Cheryl?
No.
David?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion carries 3-1.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion
Yes.
to nominate David Pearl as the vice chairman of the school board.
I'll second that motion.
Mike, David?
Yes.
Cheryl?
No.
Mike?
Yes.
Tricia, yes.
Motion carries 3-1.
Motion carries 3-1, I'm sorry.
I make a motion that we reopen the minutes of December 4th for amendment.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
I'd like to motion to change the language where I am making a motion to accept warrant articles. That should read that I accept this document in a draft form.
So you really just want to add in a draft form?
Correct.
As presented in a draft form?
Correct.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 4-0.
I make a motion to direct the superintendent to obtain the updated enrollment numbers for each of the core subject classes within all of the Manchester high schools every 2 weeks. A list is to be compiled of all core classes that exceed the state standard of 30 students per class, as well as all labs that exceed the state standard of 25 students per class. This list is to be included in a draft letter outlining Hooksett's concerns regarding these numbers. The letter which requires, the draft letter would require the review and approval of its contents prior it being sent to the Manchester Board of School Committee. This letter shall also include any concerns that the administration considers relevant and important to note in the letter regarding Manchester's compliance with the high school contract. This letter shall be sent to the Mayor of Manchester and CC to the New Hampshire Commissioner of Education and the Hooksett School Board.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
I motion to direct the superintendent to create a letter to the parents or guardians of all Hooksett High School students that are attending Manchester Public High Schools. This letter shall inform parents and guardians that Hooksett has filed an official letter with the Manchester School District declaring the existence of a formal breach of contract. The letter shall outline the process of breach, the dates involved, the process if the outcome is successful, and possible outcomes or consequences if not successful. This drafted letter shall be presented to the Hooksett School Board for its review and deliberation at the February 22nd meeting. Upon approval of this letter by a majority of the school board, the letter will be sent to all parents or guardians of all Hooksett High School students attending any Manchester Public High Schools.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
I would make the motion that we ask our attorney to meet with Manchester to negotiate an early exit to our contract.
Did you ask the attorney to meet?
Well, the attorney and Superintendent Littlefield.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
In fact, I'll make a motion that we ask for a meeting with the Manchester Board of School Committee for the two boards to meet.
Second.
All those in favor of that signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. The technology expendable trust fund plan revised, and that's in our board packets.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we table this. If I get a second, works please.
I'll second for discussion.
I'll call the motion to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
No.
those opposed? Motion carries 3-1. Number C, warrant article to increase the size of the Hooksett School Board.
Madam Chair, I have a motion I'd like to make.
Go ahead.
I motion to add the following warrant article to the ballot. Shall the Hooksett School District increase the school board membership from 5 to 7 members effective with the annual election in March of 2014. At that time, 2 additional members will be elected, one for a 3-year term and one for a 2-year term. Thereafter, all members will be elected for 3-year term.
Second.
I'll call the motion to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion carries 3-1. Item letter A, the 2013-2014 draft calendar.
So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to table the school calendar for 2013-14 to a later date.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries 4-0. I'm sorry, I just didn't. Letter E is technology plan.
I guess I would like to make a motion that we investigate the practicality of having, let me back up, the practicality and the value of having projectors installed in all the classrooms.
I'll second.
I'm going to call this motion to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion carries 3-1.
So I'd like to make a motion that all official motions made by the school board are to be recorded in the minutes of the meeting as worded in verbatim format.
I'll second for discussion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Mary, that motion?
Yes, please.
Give for a motion that all official motions are to be recorded in verbatim format. Correct?
That's correct.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Make a motion that the Hooksett School Board create and maintain a log of all votes taken by the board. The log shall be maintained by the school board secretary. The log shall reflect the date of each vote, the verbatim language of each motion, and the results of the vote, including roll call details. And if I get a second, I'll speak to that.
Second.
Okay, I'll call it to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
No.
Motion carries 3-1.
I'd like to make a motion that all information that is sent to, received by, and included within the school board member's packet also have that information sent electronically to all the school board members at their school board member email address. And if I get a second, I'll speak to it.
Second.
I'd be willing to amend the motion to exclude confidential information. because I have made a request that I don't have any confidential information sent to my school board address because it's discoverable under the Right to Know Act. So it puts us in a terrible position if someone files a right to know for a certain period of time for your school board information, and you have something sitting there that's of a sensitive nature. And I don't think that I've received anything electronically, but
I'll second that amendment.
I call the amendment to a vote.
yes.
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 Motion carried, amendment carries 4-0. Okay, well, I'll call this to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right.
I will make a motion that all school board members use the school board address that's been assigned to them by the SAU 15 administration and has the address SAU 15 contained in it.
Second.
I will call this to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Motion carries 3 with 1 abstention.
I make a motion to remove warrant article number 5 from the ballot.
Second for discussion. What is warrant article 5?
It's the one that allows us to retain 2.5% of our net assessment as a fund balance.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-1.
Who was the one?
Say what we recommend.
I make a motion that we recommend number 2, the contract between the Hooksett Education Association and the school board.
Second.
All those in favor of putting the school board recommending warrant article 2 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries 4-0.
Warrant Article 3 is between the Hooksett School Board and the Hooksett Educational Support Professionals.
I make a motion to put that, to recommend that as a warrant article.
Second.
All those in favor of recommending warrant article 3 signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Carries 4-0.
Make a motion that we recommend the budget. I don't want to say it's not the school board budget, right? It's the school district
It's
budget.
yeah, right, because
School
it's the
district
budget
budget.
committee's budget, but,
Second.
For the amount to be filled in.
and I can tell you the amount,
Okay.
$27,514,673.
600.
$27,514,673.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
All those opposed say no.
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 So I will make the motion to not recommend the budget.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, we'll call it to a vote. All those in favor of not recommending the budget committee budget signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
The school board is not recommending the budget committee budget.
I make a motion that we recommend the CIP warrant article, number 5.
Second.
All those in favor of recommending the CIP warrant article, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hooksett School Board recommends.
Make a motion that we recommend the warrant article 6 to increase the number of school board members from 5 to 7.
Second.
Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, I'll call it to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
No.
those opposed? No.
Would like to make a motion to dissolve the Manchester High School Subcommittee.
Second.
All those in favor of dissolving the Manchester High School Subcommittee signify by saying aye.
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 No.
Opposed? No. It's 2-2. What?
Motion fails.
Motion fails. We'll entertain nominations for the Manchester High School Subcommittee.
I will nominate myself.
I'll second it. All those in favor of appointing Cheryl to the Manchester High School Subcommittee signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No. So I make a motion that we create a charge for the Manchester High School Subcommittee.
Second.
I'm going to call the motion to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a
Second.
We're adjourning at 9:25. It was made by David and seconded by Mike.
Yes.